Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're with us on this morning. We've got a big show lined up, but always great to have you as a viewing audience. We wouldn't have a show, we didn't have you as a viewing audience. Stop and think about that. I know it's early in the morning to think about something that deep, but it's true. Let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Electric. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of everyday comfort needs. High today 83, low 67. Our water temperature brought to us by Allco Electric out of Lynn Haven. We're looking at still 79 degrees, real steady right there at 79, been for about 2 weeks. You know, it went up and then sort of leveled off. Okay, moving on to our river readings brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We're looking at Apalachicola Bluntstown, a 6.1, slow, steady drop. It's looking good. The Choctaw Caryville, an even 3 foot. Both rivers are in great shape as we're approaching the full moon this coming Monday, the full moon of May. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawns. That's on the other end of the spectrum as far as being in good shape. Our tidal flow next couple of days, I mean, this is downright flat. Not much going on with our tide. Got a little bit today. Our marine forecast will be south-southeast at about 5 to 10. So it's interesting how you have the river in such good shape. Then the tidal flow, not much going on with it, but it's going to be picking up soon. So it's just nature's just something we have to deal with and understand. Always a challenge to understand it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'll close that last section talking about understanding nature, and just I stand in awe most times when I'm outdoors and on the water of nature and all the different parts of it. And when somebody does research and find out things and experience and all, I love looking at that and learning from it. And ironically, I just ran across this past couple of days ago, end of last week really. And I know it's not hunting season, but it just came out. It came out April 30th, so 5 days ago. The National Deer Association, a great organization of folks who love deer management, deer hunting, and taking care of our deer. And they came out with a study on actually aging the deer. We all know you do it through the jawbone, and there are a lot of people like Stan Kirkland, a lot of folks can do that, a lot of biologists. But anyway, this is a photo gallery that they printed out. So here it is right here, a photo gallery of jawbones from extremely old deer. So we're going to go through, like I said, it just came out last week, so you have to excuse the commercials and all in here. This is a 1 year old, I blow it up. This is 1 year old, okay? And you can see everything's healthy, and they got them numbered. Okay, this is 100% accurate. These are fawns, these are yearlings, okay? Okay, this is 1.5 to 2.5. Let's go down to 2.5. That third one starts wearing just a little bit. Okay, that's 2.5 years old. That's a pretty good sized deer, but not quite. All right, let's go to 4.5. When the 4.5, this buck, now here's what's cool about it. They actually have them, a lot of these are Georgia deer. This deer was taken in 2024, and this Lindsay Thomas, anyway, the aging lab says, and they have a lab that does this, it was 4.5 years old, okay? And then the 5.5, okay, let's go up here to 6.5. 6.5, that's an old deer right there. Again, this was 2018, and notice the crevice separating the inside and outside of the fourth tooth, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth tooth. See how that's wearing like that? It's amazing scientific study to do this. Then 8.5. Okay, that's 8.5 right there. The 8.5, here, in fact, they have a picture of this deer. This was Kip Adams in Pennsylvania in 2024. The trail camera had the buck. It was taken a few days before he tagged him. And they tagged it. It was 8.5 years old. But look at the wear and tear on the teeth there. I was just watching this, looking at it last night. And then at the 9.5, this was taken by, again, Lindsay Thomas in 2023. Again, you can see the wear and tear there. And then 11.5, this came out of South Carolina. And now some of these deer I cannot believe they lived that long, so they got to be like on private land. This is in 2023. That's 11 and a half years old. Amazing. And then a 12 and a half. This was killed up in Tuckahoe, Georgia. This was a doe, and this is on public land. Is that not amazing? Of course, being a doe, it would have been protected. Okay, and then let's see, that's about right there. Then a 13 and a half year old, okay, a doe taken by Katie Adams in Pennsylvania in 2019. Almost every tooth is scooped out and worn smooth. That is amazing, 13 and a half years old. And let me see, I think I have, let me see, 13 and a half. Let me go back here, Jeff, hold on. 13, that was 13 and a half. And all right, here we go, we'll close up on this one right here. 14 and a half. A doe taken by Bo Adams, Pennsylvania, a lot of Pennsylvania deer. And actually this doe was suffering from dental decay and infection, so it'd be like gum disease, but that's his dad. He and his dad got that, and there it is right there. So you can see, actually they'll end up actually starving to death, and that's what they'll do if you're not. Here's a better picture. That's a doe right there. Here's a picture of it right here. It's very rare. So they really did a big favor to the deer, take them out of misery. So anyway, the important thing about all of this is that we have a situation there where the scientists and biologists and all can go in there, and it's proven because you have them in private land, and you actually take pictures of them in private land. You got the cameras, and you know exactly when a deer was born. You can tag them. And I really thought that was fascinating. The National Deer Association. Then most of the average deer in the wild and in Florida, I don't know about the rest of Georgia and Alabama, the average deer lives about 5 to 6 years old. And then on private land, they live a lot longer. But on public land, I'm talking about a buck being taken. The does, I don't know the research on it. Next time we get a good biologist in here, we'll have to ask and find out. Okay, I got a lot of stuff coming up. Let me take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I always like to show you different things. A lot of y'all share. And my good buddy up there in Bristol, up there in Liberty County, Tony Anderson, played a good football player and then played ball at the University of Florida. Later on became principal, and he's retired now, so he does a lot of cool things. I enjoy keeping up with Tony, great guy. And I want to read his post he made this past Sunday night. Okay, here we go. He said, relaxing in a swing on the front porch, getting up close and personal with some hummingbirds ain't a bad thing to do on a Sunday afternoon. So he got a little video. Well, hummingbirds now, look at that. Is that not cool? Gail and I were talking about our hummingbirds didn't come in as good this year as they have been in the past. But Tony posted this, and it's just mesmerizing just watching those things. And we have them out the window. I know a lot of y'all do too. Y'all let me know how the hummingbirds did this year coming through. But man, you know, the migration we were talking about last week on the show, but you can just sit and watch those things for on and on. You talking about these Sundays? Sundays have always been special to me. I guess it goes my lifestyle growing up. We would get up and go to church, and Mom would have a big Sunday dinner, and then Sunday afternoon I'd just be, a kid. I'd jump on bicycles and run back in the woods, and it's just a free day. As the old song came out, easy like on a Sunday morning, and that's how I've always felt that way about the Sundays. It's just a day of relaxation and doing fun things and enjoying it. And things like this, like Tony's and his wife sitting on the porch. Anyway, so that we wanted to thank you, Tony Anderson, for sharing that with us. And again, the hummingbirds are something special. And speaking of something special, I know we started this outdoor education program a good while back. I know sometimes y'all may get tired of me talking about it, but I just believe in it so strongly because I've seen it help so many young people, and I'm going to always promote it and try to get it going in a lot of other places because I know it's so good for our young people. I know a lot of y'all do too. Y'all share things with me. Y'all do a lot of little things too to help young people. But I was invited to the Women's Club last week to speak to them about outdoor education, and I had a thrill. They told me I was the best looking man in the room because I was the only guy there. But the Women's Club in downtown Panama City in the Cove, they do a lot of good things for people. I knew a lot of the ladies there. I've been around them a long time, and some good folks. I appreciate the invitation. So I even took a selfie. Check this out. We took a selfie, and there's 3 tables full of them, and I did get a free meal off of it. I had a great time, and here's Lois Lawrence. Some of y'all may remember this. This lady is a legend. I just love this lady here. The old woman, that building was built in 1936 in the Cove. Okay, Paula Bunch. I've known she worked with Gail for years. But here's the agenda, and anyway, what I shared with them, I really don't know if I've ever gone over this with you, just the outdoor education. And in the left column, these are, don't worry about the check marks. These are just different things we do over the years to develop in that left column there, all kind of things. And I talked about some of those and guest speakers. And then on the right column up here, projects, we did projects for the community and school and individual. We take field trips. We did go to St. Vincent Island a few times. What a great trip. And the cookouts, hamburger, hot dogs, venison, fish fries, and different things and all. So I got to present that to them. And then I was real proud of this. These are the schools I talk about. I have a list of them now where the outdoor education program, of course, is in where they're teaching at Mosley, Dean Bozeman, South Waldron, Pace, Navarre High School, Crestview, Destin High School, Gulf Breeze, Robert Monroe over in Quincy, Wakulla High School, Franklin County, and many more come next fall. And one of the schools is going to put it in next fall is going to be Rutherford High School. I'm really tickled about getting it started over there. Those kids will actually love it over there. And talking about kids and running into different things, and it's always such a thrill for me to see my former students. But what always fascinates me, if you taught school, been a lot of y'all older people, then you see young people, then all of a sudden you see them again. They're changed. They've gotten older. So I got invited to a surprise birthday party. George Stewart invited me to his daughter Alicia's. I won't give you the year, how old she is, because that's not a nice thing to do. But she graduated in my class in 2003. A surprise birthday party Saturday afternoon. So I wanted to share a couple of pictures. Okay, here we go. I just want to share because she loved outdoor education. She's a mom now, and we're up there. And these 3 girls. Okay. How about Bridget Blake on the left, then Candace Humphrey, then Alicia. They were all in my outdoor ed class, and I told them I remember them as when they were actually 18-year-olds, but they're sweet, and they do such a great job at helping people out. And I want to say a special good morning, Bridget's dad, John Blake. I appreciate you watching the show every morning, John. Now you want a flashback. I ran across this, talking about the old timers. Around 1960, the world famous shrimp boat. I know all of y'all sort of remember that now. The shrimp boat in St. Andrew, the original one, and it was a place to go in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. But I was looking at some of the prices, the steaks, okay. But anyway, I got on down to the tea was 20 cents, iced tea 20 cents, and fried chicken it was $2, veal cutlet. But what was so good? Let me get up here. Okay, here's a picture of it. A lot of local folks. Can you see right there down in St. Andrew, a Smith Yacht Basin? This is looking across the water at it. It was such a, and then this picture right here, that's the old Smith Yacht Basin. It was full of boats. And see, it hasn't changed that much, really. The layout hasn't. It's just not as many boats in there, fishing boats. But anyway, the seafood, what I always look for, how much did the seafood platter cost? Of course, they really, shrimp, $3.95. The seafood platter, the 4th one down there, $4.95. I remember getting that. I still remember that. That was just a plate full of fish. But the funniest thing to me, right there in the center, Spanish mackerel. They were actually fried or broiled. I never ordered that. I just never cared about eating Spanish mackerel or king mackerel. But those folks coming down from Alabama and Georgia, they loved it. And then of course the mullet plate was $2.95, oysters. But I just thought y'all would get a kick out of that. Let me see. And again, talking about the drinks and chicken, all that. Anyway, coffee. Okay, I've got drinks. Talked about them, soft drinks and all of that. Okay, moving on. Up present day, Joe Myers listen, this is a big deal. The flats fishing is hot right now. Plenty of bait, and the fish are chewing. Now, Joe Myers is a good fisherman, especially on these bigger tides like we had. And we talked about that last week. Get the book, and he's running purebred charters now, and he just had some folks out catching some nice redfish and trout. Joe Myers is a good fisherman. Jump up here to Choctaw Bay. Bay fishing has been strong. This is at the dock in Destin. Okay, James Anderson. One more real quick. I'm going to talk about Apalachicola Riverkeeper. Let's go and take a break. We'll be right back to talk about them. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fish and game time today, brought to us by the good folks down at Blue Water Outriggers. And you're looking for last minute Mother's Day gift. They have all kind of clothing and sandals and all kind of stuff down there. It's a great place to find some good stuff, not just for you, but for the love of your life and your family and your friends. Okay, our time today, 7:30 to 9:30 this morning and this afternoon, late tonight. Well, 7:50 to 9:50. I was getting pretty late for me. But anyway, I'm going to talk about I want to go ahead and skip the Apalachicola Riverkeeper because I'm going to talk about that more in depth. What I want to do, I want to talk about the Apalachicola bluffs and ravines. This area I'm going to talk about is right north of Bristol on Highway 12. You take a left like you're going to interstate, and you see Torrio State Park on your left, then there's the next big chunk of land called Apalachicola Bluffs and Ravines Preserve. And what they're doing, and the state and what a lot of private money too bought this property. It's on the river all the way to the highway. They're restoring it to the natural longleaf pines scattered about, not planted in rows, just scattered, like it was in nature, and putting the wiregrass is coming back. And really, I ride by there and I just marvel at it because you look out there and I can remember way back that's how the woods used to look. So I applaud the effort by so many different people. But what they're doing now, you're gonna like this. Okay, check this out. There are 42 indigo snakes released in the ongoing effort to return America's longest snake to North Florida. This is the only place they're doing this. All right, so here's what's going on. The Central Florida Zoo and Botanical Gardens released 42 eastern indigo snakes in the Apalachicola Bluffs and Ravines Preserve. This is 9 consecutive years they've been doing that, and they've released so far 209. And what's so cool about these snakes, they're non-venomous, and they're apex predators. They're top of the line, okay? They can get anything. So it's, anyway, I got some pictures of them doing this. Would this not be fun to do on a field trip? But first of all, look at this is the kind of land I'm talking about. This is how it used to look, just pine trees and growing, some of them falling over by nature and some just growing straight up. And this is just a great place to go. It's a sandy soil in some of that area, then it goes down to the river. But I had these pictures. They got them in the bags, and they're releasing them, and most of them are going in these gopher holes. That's where, they're going in there. But those snakes, we used to call them little black racers and coach whips and all kind of, but the indigo snake, that's the wiregrass right there. Is that not cool? Okay. And then another story on it. This came in a Tallahassee paper. There were on the bottom line there, 22 female and 20 male. They were bred and hatched, and they spend the first year of life in a hatchery, and then they release them. It's a collaborative effort by. Okay, so here's another. Those are cool snakes. I've always liked them. They're, like I say, they're the apex predator, and it goes on to 209 total. And they're going in the hole right here. And here, they're just casually, I got tickled. You think she's got a purse in her left arm, but she's got a snake. And she's texting, I'm sure, telling people, well, and the guy with her, he's got he's got 2. And it's really, that would have been a cool little field trip. And it goes on to talk about the different ones, the biologist talking about it. Okay, and anyway, now here's a group of them there. Each one of them got a bag, and it goes on talking about. But I thought this was a cool picture right here. This is you can really see them. They're friendly snakes. They really are. They're non-venomous, and I'm sure they'll bite probably in self-protection. But they're again, they grow. They've actually found one that's 6 foot. Look at this picture here. Now what they'll have, you see the camera, they can monitor them, and look how long that one is. They found recently, I don't know if I have it in here, they found the first 6 foot one that they released, and it's grown up to 6 foot. I'm trying to get Gail to take a field trip up there, okay? But anyway, that's the, we used to call them all kinds of things. The eastern indigo snake, and the only place in Florida they release them is that area right there, right in the heart of the Panhandle. I just thought that was really cool, and I appreciate the effort they're all doing. I promised some folks I was going to have some more pictures of them. I do want to talk. Let's go to this email I got right here from Diane Boyce. Okay, here it is. Maybe you could educate some folks. This is a sight you see when you ask them to throw them back in the water so they can live. They just walk off and mumble something, possibly not good words. Okay, so basically, people are just on this leftover fish, the alewives, just throwing them on the land. Okay, seeing dead alewives everywhere, victims of uneducated cast netters, and she's right. Here it is right here. Here, see all these little baby alewives just thrown on there. Folks, if you catch them in a net, get the ones out you're going to use and throw them back in the water. How hard is that to do? Look at there, just left more dead ones there. And that's just, we're talking about taking care of the environment and taking care of things. This is exactly what we're talking about not doing. You throw that cast net, we've all, you have that bait net and all, you're going to catch a bunch of them. Get out, shake out the ones you want in your 5-gallon bucket, and then shake the rest of them out over the water. I promise you it's not that hard. Don't just throw them up there and let them die, because we just need, keep them going like that. So that's what we're talking about, that's a classic case of taking care of the outdoors. On one end, we've got all this eastern indigo snake restoration. On the other end, we've got this uneducated cast netter just wasting it away. So you see what we try to do. We want to do all this good stuff here and encourage people to do it. I've got a lot more stuff, as always, and run out of time. Tomorrow's guest, Dr. Jeremy Sunseri, will be coming on and telling you all you better get covered up with the sun, because the sun's starting to get up high. He's always got some good stories and good pictures, so we're going to look forward to him coming on tomorrow. If you have any good stuff, just share with us and we'll get it on. Y'all do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.